Another episode of In Bed with Witch Doctor. How's everyone doing? Enjoying a nice Pinot Grigio. Hello, Alexis Dominic. Enjoying a nice Pinot Grigio. Sweetie Fire Tarot. Hello. Just wanted to talk to you about, let's see, we have the June 5th lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. Lovely Lavencia. Hello. Shara Proust. Hello. Pio Timon Bivix, hello. Oh yeah, current events we gotta talk about. Venus retrograde we gotta talk about. Good, thank you. How are you? I'm well. Carlo Tapino, hello, hola. Current events. Trump putting this ban on Twitter when he has better things that he could be doing. Sipping some champagne right along with you. Excellent. Loose. Off the goose. Hey Tiffany, how are you? Not the goose, but I don't know, what night is it? Thursday? Jupiter Day. Perfect. Hey Shimi, how are you? So today's Jupiter Day. Today's Thursday, ruled by Jupiter, all about expansion. Just to recap, that chick on my Instagram story, she collected bank dirt from banks. Honestly, I think even better to kick it up a notch, gas stations, if there's soil around a gas station, because when you think about it, people only put their money into the gas station, and it's a commodity. People only put their money into the gas station. They don't take out banks. They take out their money. So it's like, if you have a business, especially at a home business, and you're collecting money, then it's best, in my opinion, to collect dirt from a gas station. Right now, for protection, collect soil from police station, from fire department, from church, especially, to keep peace in the home. Bloodroot, get yourself some bloodroot. I don't know who's selling it right now. I don't have it in the Amazon store, but get yourself some bloodroot. Keep peace in the home. Keep peace outside the home. Wash the sidewalks down with creolina, cascarilla, and Florida water, obviously. But creolina, it stinks, but it'll definitely clear that funk away from the external part of your home. Tourmaline, keep your tourmaline on you. And I was just going to say the other day, it's like, we as black people are so tired of buying black candles, aren't we? Like, we're so tired of buying black candles as a people for protection of our relatives. We aren't doing enough to really do work on our oppressors. But, honestly, at the end of the day, February 21st, I think, is when the official Pluto return happens for America. Sometime in February. It's like either February 20th or the 21st or the 10th. Long story short, February 2021 is when the America's Pluto return actually happens. So we're just getting started. This stuff with the guy in Minnesota and everything burning down, and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, and it's so interesting because a lot of astrologers attributed police brutality of black people and the whole police brutality thing to Saturn and Scorpio. If you remember, during 2013 to 2015, that was when the whole thing with Sandra Bland and Trayvon Martin and all of that was at its peak. And so now we're at this retrograde phase as we're getting closer to, the placements are treating you well. Thank you so much. As we're getting closer to the Pluto return in February 2021, everything is coming to a boil. Everything is coming to a head. And it's super important, we as a people, black, white, people of color, white allies rather, people of color, however you want to define white allies, people of color, but especially black people, all collectively do what we can to really protect ourselves as we go through this Plutonian time. Pluto, it's the judgment card. It fucks with everything in its path. It changes everything in its path. So definitely, sorry, the year of the ox. Yeah, it will be the year of the ox. But yeah, it touches everything in its path, and it's super important. We as people, independently, your family independently, definitely takes advantage of protection, where it isn't so much that you need to run away from Plutonian energy. It's more so kind of you need to prepare for the change that is inevitable, that's coming your way, that's coming all of our way here. That those of us that live here, I have followers that live in England, Spain, Israel, places like that. But those of us here in America, as we go through our Pluto return, we definitely need to be protecting ourselves. When you see what's going on, I always forget to moisturize before I get in here. But anyway, we need to be protecting ourselves. But back to what I was saying, we're also sick of buying black candles and protection candles and things of that nature. But just like Twinkie Clark was saying, it's like sacrifice is super important in order to get what it is that you want. Sacrifice in regards to, a lot of people on Facebook or all these other apps, they're looting. That just makes them look bad. That just reiterates the stereotypes, but it's a sacrifice that needs to take place in order for real change to happen. Just like, I don't know if any of you know the story, but Marie Laveau, not to say that she was a rape apologist, those were different times, but the son of, I believe, the mayor of New Orleans at the time, when Marie Laveau was living back in the 18th century, 19th century, when she was living, the son of the mayor or the governor or whoever was accused of, we won't talk about that, but he was accused of something. And so in order for her to spiritual work to work in regards to that particular case, she had to put a pepper in her mouth. She put a pepper in her mouth and she kept it there for, I think, like 13 hours or something like that. But to endure that pain for that long, and as long as we've been enduring this pain, and honestly, but getting back to my story, to endure that pain that long was a form of sacrifice. And it ended up that the governor or mayor or whoever he was, somebody's son, somebody important son that offered or got work from Marie Laveau, he ended up getting away, or more so kind of getting a not guilty situation back in New Orleans back in that day. That's the story. That's the story about New Orleans and Marie Laveau's work. But it was a different time. We won't talk about that whole case, but that's a story that they say about her. But anyway, the other point I was trying to make, but I was getting to that. It was the police setting those fires. Yeah, I saw that as well. Looters took this country. That's how the Boston Tea Party started. Oh yeah, that's the point I was trying to get back to. So, honestly, with Pluto return, with America's Pluto return happening, the lives of the brown people, Native Americans, are on their way back. African slaves, people, the indigenous people that were here with the Pluto return happening, it's like they're manifesting in different forms. They're manifesting in different forms of all this outrage, in the forms of COVID-19, in these diseases, in the forms of, unfortunately, in a weird roundabout way, Donald Trump. Even though he has his own stuff going on, it's like he was spiritually picked to be leader of the free world at this particular time, because it's the only illogical explanation of what's going on, or what is to come, that's going on in our collective, And the whole point of it is that, everything that's going on is payback for what happened to the brown people, the Native Americans that were here, the black people that were here, the black people that were brought on the ships. It's all payback. Because now now that we have cameras, now that we have technology, now that we're in the Aquarian age, everything is being put on camera and people are being held accountable. Their descendants are being held accountable for the things that they are doing. Can I say this live? Yeah, absolutely. I tried to say the last live that I was on, and it did all this weird shit, and it's still saved in my phone. And I tried to upload it to YouTube, but whatever. But yeah, everything that we're going through in this country is all due to the Pluto return, especially after the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, January 12th, but definitely February 2021 is when everything really comes to a boil in this country, in America. Election, small election, it doesn't matter. It's just, everything is coming to a boil with this situation, social unrest. And, it's so interesting because during Venus retrogrades, presidents tend to pass away. American presidents, like there's this YouTube that talks about like during Venus retrogrades, like how a president always passes away during that time. Hopefully it's the right one, but even if, that still will leave an even worse person. But anyway, what's that like? Oh, it's my TV. But my next point. Let's see what you guys are talking about. 3 of my friends died during Venus retrograde. I'm sorry to hear that. Who believe hurricanes are spirits of the ancestors who died on the sea the way here. And that's fine. I honestly feel like hurricanes have been happening before the slave trade, but it's probably gotten more violent since the slave trade in the 1500s, 1600s. Do you think time is speeding up? Yeah. Honestly, I was just thinking about that earlier today because I woke up at like 9:30, and before I knew it, it was 2:30. And I was like, damn, I got to do readings in a minute. It's like, damn, I already got to do readings. Hey, Jenny, how are you? Good to see you. I've known Jenny a long, long time. Spirit told me that the ancestors want to call on them for protection with all this and to guide us and channel them so they can win. They're tired of us being played with. Honestly, everything in the universe, and it's so sad that, that guy in Minnesota, I don't forget his name. Is it Floyd or whatever? We'll just call him the man in Minnesota who unfortunately passed away. Is definitely his life was fated, super fated. It's unfortunate that he has to pass away. He had to pass away like that. But, that's part of the process of the bigger picture of this country's Pluto return. Hello, Mike. How are you? I'm surprised you're on my live. George Floyd. Yeah, George Floyd. That's his name. Yeah, I kept wanting to call him just Floyd. But anyway, it's unfortunate that he had to pass away like that, but it's part of the bigger picture of America going through its Pluto return, unfortunately. It really sucks that he has to pass away like that. My mom is stressed out. Obviously, she was. Anyone with a black sun, I'm sure, is stressed out right now. But USA will not exist soon. To a degree, I agree a little bit. It will definitely be different. For years and years, people have been talking about this New World Order. I don't know about all that. I mean, it's been a New World Order. Like, there's been a UN. There's been all that. But do I think Trump will be killed? It's interesting because I have this book from the 60s that talks about anytime Jupiter and Uranus are in an Earth sign at the same time, a United States president has been killed. And it's been not Woodrow Wilson. I think that's one of the ones that been killed. But John F. Kennedy, the Uranus and Jupiter went in a Earth sign. And Ronald Reagan, he wasn't killed, but he was definitely taken out. He was definitely shot or something like that. An assassination attempt. There's a couple other presidents, but yeah, anytime Uranus and Jupiter are in the Earth sign, as they are now, that's when that tends to happen. Do I think he will be assassinated? He has so much going on in his 6th house, and if you watch the Leo King, he's been talking about it for years. If you watch any other astrologer that does Donald Trump's chart, they'll all tell you that his 6th house, he's hiding a whole lot of stuff about his health. And if you also, Patrick Watson, if you go to his website, I don't know the name, I I don't know if it's patrickwatson.com, but he talks about zodiacal releasing, and he talks about the lot periods, which is similar to Vedic astrology, and we'll get to that in a second because that was amazing. But he talks about the Vedic astrology and the lots. And during the 80s, Donald Trump was going through a lot that was Gemini ruled, and that's when his doctor put him on Adderall or some kind of medication that had amphetamine in it. But Donald Trump was taking it longer. Like, he was only prescribed for it for like a month, but he ended up taking it for the whole like 80s, like for the whole 10 years. And those of you that may know about amphetamine, methamphetamine, all that, it fucks up your brain. It eats at your brain eventually. And the fact that he's out here elected and running the country with that deteriorated brain, and it's like people know that he doesn't mentally have it together. But it's so interesting that in Patrick Watson's article, it talks about it because Gemini is associated with amphetamine, is associated with, it's just, you really got to read the article. It's really brilliant. But he talks about how he was prescribed that stuff and he ended up taking it longer and ended up eating at his brain. And it's like the correlation between amphetamine and him being through a Gemini lot, releasing, that whole thing. It's a really interesting article. But long story short, like I say, Donald Trump was definitely chosen by the Most High to definitely be captain of the ship during this time. Rush energy, Adderall, public formula. Yes, the Leo King is amazing. Yeah, definitely watch the Leo King. It's so funny because, I love the Leo King, but like, he won't fuck with you unless like you really put in years and years and years of work, and that's fine. I respect that. But it's like, never mind. So the other point I was gonna get to, what was I also talking about? Oh yeah, my Vedic astrology reading, which was amazing today. Vedic and sidereal are two different things. Like, I was expecting to hear all this shit because I had heard, sidereal is just like Vedic whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, but like I was expecting to hear all this shit about how I'm a Libra and how I'm a Cancer moon and all this other stuff. And that's fine, even if it is true, even if that is where the constellations are, that's perfectly fine. But that's not even what Shivam, that's how you say his name, Shivam or Shidam talked about. He was like talking about the lots and how right now I have Jupiter in my 8th house, and how my career has Venus in Pisces, which is exaltation, and like these next couple of years it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so he was saying all those great things, and he even talked about like chants I could say to Lord Shiva and prescribing me herbs like ashwagandha. It felt like I was just talking to like one of those earthy women in Inglewood or whatever. It's like, you should start taking this and you should start doing that. But it's like he's over in India, but it definitely very high vibrational when you talk to him on the phone, like very much prescribed things I should be doing, things I shouldn't be doing anymore. Definitely. And he does palm readings also. So according to him, I have a long life. I should have asked him about my kids, but my pending kids, but he was talking about how I have a long life and my heart line. He said, like, I won't have heart problems till like 70, 80 years, knock on wood, which is great. Let me read your comments. Oh yeah, that's another point I want to get to. So that thing I posted on my story, the 22 degrees, I just want to make it clear, doesn't mean that you're going to get murdered. Doesn't mean that you're going to get killed if you have 22 degrees, especially in a fixed sign. It really applies to fixed signs, would the killer be killed? But again, it doesn't literally mean that you're going to be killed. It doesn't literally mean that if you have anything at 22 degrees that you're going to die. Kill or be killed can be ego death. It could be spiritual death. It could be, this is super metaphorical. Yeah, Nipsey Hussle had a bunch of 22 degrees in his chart. And that's one of the earliest examples that we used here on Instagram, well, spiritual Instagram, of that 22 degree thing. But, that's not, thank you so much, Tiara Theory. That's one of the earliest examples that we use of that whole 22-degree theory. And Astro Twitter is so funny because they're so against the whole degree stuff, but it's like they'll accept all this other stuff. They don't. It's just crazy. They're just very much like, if you are, never mind. I'm not gonna stir the pot, and I've been drinking, but I'm not gonna stir the pot. But anyway, where do I learn about degrees? Google. It's this Russian guy, and his last name starts with an S. I don't want to say Stanislavski because that's the actor, that's the acting teacher, but it's and I have the book around here somewhere, the degrees. Or if you go look in my Amazon shop, you'll see the book about degrees in there. But anyway, yeah, like, so if you Google 18 degrees in astrology or 22 degrees, and it's like so funny because it's like Astro Twitter has all these crazy like qualms against the degree theory, but it's like, okay, there's fixed stars that are attributed to degrees. Like 29 degrees of Leo is Regulus, and that is royalty. And most people, you can see who's meant to be royalty. Hey, Dubai Queen, how are you? Or Dubai Queen. You know, moon-shaped head. Maybe you are a Cancer moon. Okay, well then, you know that's my sidereal. That's my sidereal moon. I'm a Cancer moon. Moon-shaped head. Now, I have a moon-shaped head because I put on all this weight. Does it matter the house or the planet? I don't know. Degrees are so accurate. Yeah, no, Jade is really on her shit. And it's like her predictions are more accurate than all these snooty people on Astro Twitter that are better than everybody else. But, I like who I like on Astro Twitter, Astrology Twitter. That's the end of that. He also had 9 of spades the week he died. Oh yeah, I don't know about that cardology chick. She's cool, she's nice. I mean, I don't know her, but I'm sure she's fine. I feel like she jumps the gun in regards to her predictions. I feel like she's a little sloppy with some of the things that she says, but I'm sure she's nice. What's his page? Whose page? Oh yeah, if you look on the second to last post I made, then yeah, that's the page of the Vedic astrologer that I was talking about. What else do I need to cover? Oh yeah, so the Vedic astrologers told me, and it's so interesting because I feel like with Vedic astrologers, especially ones that are actually from India, not from America, they tell you in a very high vibrational way about things, ways to live. Like, they're like, stop eating fried food. Like, stop eating fried food. Stop drinking. Stop. And I didn't take that advice, at least not tonight. But stop drinking. Start eating turmeric. Start having ashwagandha. Start having Indian gooseberry. Start praying to Lord Shiva. Like, all this stuff that's really positive. And yeah, you know what I'm talking about. She be jumping the gun. Like I said on the last live, I said how she said that Ahmaud Arbery was disappointed in black women and all that other bullshit. Like, she was out of pocket for saying that. But yeah, no, the Vedic astrology was saying no fried food, which is a given. And, to have more of an Ayurvedic diet. But he was also talking about how in order to heal the health of my mother, to give to the homeless on full moons and Mondays, milk and food, make offerings to them. And then he was giving me all these chants and all these prayers. If you look at his page, you can see. Yes, the Indian astrologers can tell you many kids you will have and when. Also tell you how to meet your future husband. Yeah, no, I'm sure. I'm still tropical astrology till I die. I'm not sold on sidereal, which is different from Vedic. And I'm not sold on Vedic because I feel like I barely have tropical down anyway. So I can't be saying, I'm switching to this one when I haven't even mastered the other one. Ashwagandha helps with nerves, anxiety, and stress. Yeah, he was talking about this other stuff. Like he was, oh yeah, so he was saying that the eighth house is associated with disease. And he was also saying that because I guess within my Vedic chart today that I have Jupiter in my eighth house, and how like he was talking about my stomach, and I like, there's no way he would have known that with my gallbladder being taken out back in December and all this other shit. And he was talking about, oh yeah, you have sharp pains in your stomach, whoop de whoop de whoop. And he was like, oh yeah, you need to stay away from this and you need to stay away from that. Like he was just very detailed. And it's like it's so weird because I've been asking the universe, like when I sleep with the Hierophant under my pillow, and Malachite, and Amethyst, and the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my God, that's why. When I've been sleeping with it under my pillow, I've been meditating on getting a reading from someone that can mostly really sharpen the way I do readings, and also kind of sharpen the way or at least my perspective on my outlook. Multiple disabilities. I need to read you guys' comments, because I don't know what I'm trying to talk about. Tropical, what does that refer to? So tropical astrology is not so much based off of where the constellations are actually at, because even in sidereal, they're not actually at those locations. So tropical is based off of the seasons. Tropical astrology is based off of the seasons and our vantage point from Earth. So it's like us as humans, how we see the constellations and our vantage point, as well as our seasons, are all attributed to the tropical astrological conditions of what we are going through. Sidereal is based off of where the actual constellations are. So right now, even though we're in Gemini, the real constellation that the sun is actually in is actually still in Taurus, or actually in Taurus. And even I think 100 or 600 years from now, or 1,000 years from now, if today on May 27th or 28th, whatever the fuck the date today is, the sun will be in Aries still, because that's how far back the constellation will move. Because the constellation, after a while, after many years, it won't stay the same. How many forms of astrology are there? Oh, there's so many. So many. I have all my planets in the 8th house. Hold on. So yeah. Malachite and Amethyst. Yeah. Malachite under my pillow for transformation. And Amethyst obviously for intuition. And it's I want to know what exactly is going to change in front of me. And then with the Wheel of Fortune, what cycles are starting for the better, and what choices am I making for the better. Hierophant, how can I be more elevated? What can I do to kind of be more on the pedestal that I deserve to be on? Milk causes inflammation, it is not good. Yeah, I don't know. That's what he told me. He told me milk. Give them milk. So I was like, okay. But he told me to have almond milk. He said, give homeless people milk. But he told me to drink almond milk. Put labradorite on your pillow, as well as the third eye and intuition. Add a clear quartz to amplify them. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I toss and turn so much at night, so I don't even notice. I probably don't even sleep on top of these, because I be tossing and turning so much. Emily, ashwagandha increases fertility. Hell no. I thought that couldn't happen. You got all planets in one house. No, not all the planets. There's been only specific times when all the planets have all been in one house at the same time. And I posted that on my story most recently. So yeah, North Node and South Node. Good topic. So I got clarity on that, because you know me, I'm the astrological blonde. I think everything is just a walk in the park. But North Node, even though it can bring fame, success, positivity, it's also draining. It can also come with its share, like with anything positive. Even Jupiter has its downsides. Jupiter can make is too much of a good thing. It's like that saying too much of a good thing. With the North Node, it could be energetically draining. It could be, with North Node in the eighth house, it can make you sick, even though you're making all this money from, other people. Even though business is booming, it can make you energetically tired. It can exhaust you because it's literally like a firework being thrown in an area of your life. A little thicker to me. Yeah, oat milk. Yeah, I'll have to try that. I'm in Louisiana, so I don't even know if they're onto that trip yet, onto that hit yet. Anyone else experiencing increase in wild dreams? I had been having wild dreams past couple nights, but like I haven't been writing them down or remembering. Any thoughts on North Node and Leo in the 11th house? Leo, center stage, creativity, romance, in regards to friendship groups, communities, wishes granted, money earned from your career, that whole thing. Y'all making me want oat milk. Yes, start kidding. What about North London? Alman, do you have Trader Joe's out there, Alex? I don't think so. Not in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Maybe in New Orleans, but not up here in Natchitoches. I don't like thick milks. It reminds me of regular milk. Dreams have been crazy. Yeah, my dreams have been lucid. I had a dream about this dude I was in love with. We didn't kick it like I wanted to in real life. I sleep with my mirror covered to sleep better. Could you elaborate on the North Node at 29 degrees in Sagittarius? So, I feel like I talk about this every single live, but Sagittarius North Node I always attribute to Anthony Bourdain, and who else has? Somebody else has North Node in Sagittarius, but Anthony Bourdain. So it's like, he was able to fulfill his life purpose by connecting cultures and traveling to different cultures and connecting humanity. Spirituality, 29 degrees is, if you subscribe to the degree theory, it's the degree of Leo. So it's kind of like being the center of attention, being the light, being the warmth of that final straw, that more so kind of that final or finale of change in the cycle in regards to connecting cultures, connecting spirituality, spiritual faiths, spirituality, that whole thing, belief systems. He's one of my idols. Bourdain yesterday. Oh yeah, no, he's very much the whole reason why I do this page. Like, Anthony Bourdain is the man. And he's like, very much for little sad, chubby boys like me, he's very much a hero. He had Capricorn moon and Cancer sun. He was born on a full moon. And people born on a full moon, it's like they're very much, their energy is like pulled in two different directions. Full moon people who are born on a full moon typically always regret everything that they do, or they have a lot of regrets about the things that they do because they're so pulled in two different directions. They're very much kind of like, they'll do things even if they're proud of it. They'll do things, but they'll still feel like, damn, why did I do that? I should have did it this way. They'll constantly second guess things that they do. That's another thing. He was saying, the Vedic astrologer, he was saying about how I guess how my sun and Mercury are so close together, along with Venus. And in Vedic astrology, Sun is a malefic planet. It destroys. It isn't necessarily bad, because all planets are good and bad, but it's a malefic planet, along with Mercury, which is a benefic planet, I suppose. And then the Venus, which is a benefic planet. So it's like, but I see how the sun can be malefic because, if plants get too much sun, they burn out. Too much sun, it can overheat. So it's like, I can understand how it could be malefic. Snakes, spiders, people from my past and fears. You need transformation. You need a breakage in regards to your same old, same old. Snakes represent transformation. Spiders represents hoarding. holding on to things too long. People from your past and fears, you already probably should know the answer to that. North Node in Taurus at 9 degrees. Can you advise? 9 degrees, if you subscribe to the degree theory, and I say that disclaimer because I don't know who's watching from Astro Twitter, and I know all about the group chats, but anyway, if 9 degrees in the degree theory is Sagittarius, and in Taurus, your past life, North Node in Taurus, your past life, you were the ear to the king, you were the ear to the emperor, you were doing things behind the scenes, you were in a cult. Right now with North Node in Taurus at 9 degrees, you're meant to appreciate, be in the moment in other cultures. You're meant to travel, eat luxurious food from other cultures, and a lot of your purpose, your soul's purpose, is to identify with other cultures and enjoy their luxuries. 9 degrees. Not Astro Twitter, yeah. I wonder how they feel about that tweet I posted earlier, Dirty Little Bruja, about how I called them nerds you still can't sit with. I don't want them to think that me saying that is like they're not good enough to sit with. Like, I was referencing the movie Mean Girls when I said that, but I feel like that came across as like they're not good enough to sit with. So, but that could be my Scorpio-ness overanalyzing. North Node 0 degrees at Capricorn. 0 degrees is Aries, so you're double initiating things, but Capricorn, you're initiating structure and discipline in regards to whatever house you have that in. Wasn't he working with Asia Argento to take down the Weinstein? So the tea I heard on that, Anthony Bourdain, is that a lot of the reason why he took his own life, Anthony Bourdain, was because he had this TV show and he was speaking out against sexual abuse in the entertainment industry. And then come to find out, his own girlfriend, he even told the boy, apparently, allegedly, he even told the boy that allegedly slept with Asia Argento, that he would give him, I think, like $350,000 to go away. And I think the boy took it or didn't take it, or he took it and still told, or he didn't take it. But anyway, the reason why, because if you remember that, because I remember vividly, you remember when Anthony Bourdain took his own life, Asia Argento had this very blase memoriam, and be like, oh, well, he was a troubled soul, and I feel bad, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. Like, she was just very much just nonchalant about the whole shit. Like, and before he even passed away, like, she was, like, holding up her middle finger and a camera and all that shit. So, like, obviously they got in a big fight, and then he took his life. But the thing about Anthony Bourdain is that he would talk about, like, because especially when you're a full moon in Capricorn, like, he said that in interviews that he would go, when he would be traveling everywhere, he said that he would eat a hamburger at an airport or like an airline, and he would be so disgusted by the taste of it, but feel so guilty about being disgusted by the taste of it, because it's like, you gotta think about it like this. It's like you're traveling the world, getting paid millions of dollars to travel the world to eat on camera and chill and smoke and drink, and you're spiraling out of control because you had a nasty cheeseburger at an airport. You feel guilty about that. He talked about that in interviews. So the whole thing with Asia Argento is probably like, chip off the iceberg with him offering $350,000 to this teenage boy or whatever, whoever she slept with. And then after he went out on a limb and said all this shit about Anthony or Andrew Weinstein or whatever his name was, the Weinstein guy. And it's like, he has a show with CNN, but yeah, it's all very much a sad situation. What do cats represent in dreams? Cat represents protection, and more so like manifestation and peace. Think about the Egyptians, why they had so many cats. I always have the celebrity gossip on here. Those are my years of living in LA. It's like I'm so celebrity gossip. Jupiter in the 8th house in Aries, what does that tell you? Marrying someone wealthy who probably works in sports, or, and this is my pop astrology, don't let Astro Twitter see this, but no, this is my pop astrology. Marrying someone wealthy in sports or in a competitive field. There's a mosquito in here, that's why I'm like grabbing. Marrying someone in sports that's wealthy or in a competitive field. Jupiter in the 8th house is one of the best placements. Like Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson all had that placement. Yeah, they already had a family with money, so to speak, but Michael Jackson married Lisa Marie Presley. Janet Jackson married Wissam Almina, and he's, the heir to all that Dubai money. And Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis Presley's daughter. And there's a bunch of other people who have Jupiter in the 8th house in different signs. But yeah, Jupiter in the 8th house is one of the most positive, in my opinion, one of the most positive placements you could have. Einstein doc on Netflix is very peculiar. Like, things don't fully right. We watching it tonight. Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that. Where is my king? Is it good to get a birth chart reading? Absolutely. You know so much about yourself, and you understand so much about your human experience, your soul experience, getting a birth chart reading. I have Jupiter and Scorpio in the 1st house, retrograde. What does that mean? So retrograde, if you have Jupiter retrograde in the 1st house, it means that you have more of a magnified lesson on your belief systems. You very much have to kind of check your belief systems and your expansion and your consumption, how much you kind of consume in regards to your image, your self-image, and how you see the world, and your reach in regards to travel, your reach in regards to personal relationships on more of a platform of your personal perspective, we'll say. North Node and Virgo. I have to pee, but I don't want to get off this live, but I like talking to you guys. What other celebrity? Name a celebrity. I'm sure I got gossip about him. I lived in LA so long. Who else you want to know? Now, I don't think Anthony Bourdain was, obviously Anthony Bourdain was a pedophile, but he tried to pay off Angel Argento, who slept with that boy. Let's see what Briannathemoongoddess wants to talk about since she sent a request.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Namaste, everybody.
Namaste. How are you?
Okay, I'm grateful that you answered because this
I
is a
know I don't
divine
do this at
calling.
all. I'm always nervous and
Oh my
nervous and
God.
scared.
No,
But I trust
Alex,
you.
like, do you know how much I love you? Like,
I love you as
seriously?
well. I love
You
you as
know, we had
well.
a
You're always so
connection
positive.
long. We had a
Thank you.
connection long before,
Yeah.
long, and
Yeah.
it's
You're
all
so
been through
pretty.
Instagram. But I
Yeah.
just want to just say that I'm just grateful for you. I'm grateful
Grateful
for
for you
all
as
that you
well.
share. No, I'm
Thank
saying,
you.
can I just toot you real quick?
Yeah,
Well, just give
okay.
me
Go
in a minute. Let me just toot you real
ahead.
quick. No, like Alex, like I have watched you grow so much. Like it's been about 2, 3 years since I've been following you, and I just feel so connected to you. You know, energy is everything, and I just want to say how proud I am of you. You've
Thank
grown
you.
so much. You have taken the fuck off.
Thank
Your
you.
business is skyrocketing. You are booming. You are blessed. You are bountiful, and I just want to say that I love you.
God bless you. I
Now,
love you
can we
too.
get to me next?
Yes.
I
Yes.
need help. I need help.
What do you want to
Okay.
know?
So I'm currently going through year 29.
Uh-huh.
So can we talk about Saturn return? My Saturn, I guess my birthday is June 25th, 1991. Yeah, I'm telling everybody right now. So I'm currently, I feel like I'm wrapping up the end of what's been a really hard time.
You have Jupiter,
Um,
you have Saturn in Capricorn, correct?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
And your Cancer sun, correct?
Cancer Sun, Sagittarius Moon, Stellium and Venus, or Stellium and Leo, excuse me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a lot of energy.
All right. So let me just tell you, I'm proud of you too. I know you do the yoga thing in Arizona. Beautiful seeing you grow. Beautiful seeing you blossom. You know, with you going through your Saturn return, it's a huge testament to the discipline, to the routines of how much discipline you need to practice yoga to be teaching it to other people. And you know what I'll say about that is that it's like the more you use that energy, or the more you take from that you apply to other areas of your life, it will definitely bless those other areas of your life. It's like how much you commit towards teaching other people and working with other people, you being a Cancer, nurturing, creating environment for other people. And that opposition with that Saturn placement, again, Saturn is about structure and discipline, and more so father time. So it's like the more time and discipline that you put into that, especially as you go through your Saturn return. You know, when I went through my Saturn return and I have it in the 12th house, you know, I was on drugs. I committed suicide and I came back from it. This is longer, crazy situation and story. But it's like through that, and it's so funny because I have this Nigerian nurse in the hospital. I'm just letting it all hang out. But
Yes.
anyway, I was a Nigerian nurse in the hospital, and so she told me the story about, like, you know, in order for a diamond to be created, it's like you have to go through all this pressure to become that diamond. And it's like, I'll never forget it because she had this curly hair. She was a Nigerian nurse. She was sitting in front of me, and like I never saw her again. But anyway, she was telling me the story about like how it takes all this to create a diamond from all this pressure. And it's like the routine, the discipline that you put into teaching people in regards to health, in regards to bettering themselves, in regards to even as minute as the breathing techniques that it goes into yoga, and that it's like you're able to attribute that to other areas of your life. It's like look at other areas of your life and practice that same amount of discipline, because you'll be able to really blossom and really kind of get through your Saturn return easier. You know, your Saturn return isn't technically really over till 32,
Right.
33. But like honestly, it's so worth it once you get to that particular point. Like, because you know, if you would have told me in my early 20s, or really going through my Saturn return, that like, you know, people would want to give me stuff for free, because I'm someone who never won anything, never made any money. And it's like, you know, looking at my life now, based off of everything I went through, it's like, you know, going through all that pressure, like that Nigerian nurse told me, it's like looking back at it, it's like it makes so much sense. And it's like if you apply all that discipline, if you apply all that structure, you'll definitely slide through your Saturn return. You know, and you know, honestly, you've gotten through most of it already.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do the rest of the year. Saturn is going, well, I don't know what house you have Capricorn in. I think you told me. No, you have Sagittarius moon. You didn't tell me your
Yes.
rising sign.
My rising is Libra.
Libra.
Yeah.
So that means you have Capricorn in Scorpio, Sagittarius, 4th house. So yeah, so then your Saturn return, and then once you turn 58, honestly, they always say if your first Saturn return is really bad, then your second Saturn return is like cake. It's a cakewalk. But anyway, point I'm trying to get at, yeah. But anyway, no, with your Saturn return, with you already being done with it and then going into Aquarius, mostly, you know, with the discipline that you've learned, you're able to really help other people from a maternal standpoint. Since you have Capricorn in the 4th house and living situation, your maternal, your ancestry, the more disciplined you are with that area of your life, the more structure you have, the more list, you're able to really blossom and really create such a big, beautiful opportunity for yourself and for the next 29 years of your life, you know.
I'm getting teary-eyed over here.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, it's definitely a journey. It isn't fun, but it's not meant to be fun. That's why Saturn has all those rings of rock around it. You know, that's why Saturn is the goat. And the goat makes its way sideways of the mountain.
Yes.
It isn't necessarily impossible to make it up the mountain, but it's like you have to go sideways. You have to figure out how you're going to groove your way up there. whether it's sideways, whether it's backwards, whether it's forwards, whether you got to get someone to help you, you know, you got to figure it, but you have to make it up that mountain. And that's really the lesson that Saturn teaches you. I feel like, you know, one day I'll become like a Saturn psychologist. My
I
brother
feel
tells
like
me
it
that.
too, because you
No,
are like
because
the expert,
yeah,
literally.
no, because me having Saturn in the 12th house, and Saturn is its joy is in the 12th house, and I think that's probably why I'm such like Saturn this, Saturn that, Saturn this, Saturn that.
Yes.
But it's like I'm always talking about it because I went through so much when I went through mine. Because, like I said, and it's so funny now that I think about it, because the whole suicide thing, and me being a Scorpio and death and rebirth. It's like now I'm finally putting those two and two together, but interestingly enough, like I'd be able to come out the other side with that Saturn return message, be able to really heal other people and help other people with that message. But yeah, you'll definitely do great things. Discipline, practice, routine with your living situation, with your maternal ancestry, with even all your ancestry, really, but definitely your maternal ancestry, with your children, your beautiful daughter,
Yes.
you know.
You are just everything you just said.
Yeah.
Yes.
God
Like
bless
yes,
you.
yes. And that's why I'm just so grateful. This was so divine that you answered, because I feel like I needed that clarity. Like, okay, yes, because I'm doing all of these things. So I'm right on track, and it feels good to know, like, yes, when you said ancestral, whew, I got chills over
Yeah.
here, because
Yeah.
I'm really doing a lot of ancestral healing right now.
And they want you to practice discipline. That's why you have Capricorn in that 4th house.
Mm-hmm.
You need that discipline. You need that hard lesson.
Well, thank you so much for this.
My
I won't take
pleasure.
any more of your time. I thank you
No,
for
no, you're
everybody.
fine.
Yes, but I love you,
Love you
my
more.
brother. I
Love you
bless you.
more. God
I
bless you.
thank you, and I honor you. I'll see you soon,
Honors you as
Alex.
well. See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye. Well, she's so nice. Me and my acne. I was only focusing on my acne. And that's probably why I was suffering. But yeah, she's so nice. But yeah, that Saturn boy, I'll tell you one thing. That Saturn boy, and I'll be spilling all my tea. All live. I'll be spilling celebrity tea, my tea. But anyway, yeah, Saturn. I feel like my brother always tells me all the time that I'll be a Saturn psychologist, because I'm always telling everybody about, oh, Saturn this, Saturn that. And it's so funny because I think in Vedic and other parts of tropical astrology, they talk about Saturn's joy is in the 12th house. That's the best placement to have Saturn. It didn't feel like it when I was going through it. But now, since going through it, I understand the whole process of it. I understand why it had to be that way. And you know, it's such a beautiful thing. If it weren't for Miss Julia up there, right there, and Grandpa Presley guiding me over here in Louisiana during those years, during my Saturn return, after, you know, I committed suicide and came back. Luckily, they pumped my stomach and all that stuff. Like, if you would have told me all the stuff that I go through now, I would have never believed me. Like, I was living in my car, all this other shit. But anyway, in San Fernando Valley. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like, that's why I tell younger people who are going through their Saturn return or about to go through their Saturn return, it's like, you'll make it through. If I made it through that, all that embarrassing shit that I was doing in LA, if I made that, you'll make it through yours. Because they say, you know, the best place to have Saturn in the 12th is in the 12th. It didn't feel like it. It didn't feel like that. I got locked up. You know, I was in the hospital. I got my stomach pumped. Did the pig move. I have Saturn in the 7th house, Capricorn. So Saturn in the 7th house, you need an older lover or a disciplined lover, or you may not find real love until after 30. Let's see. I'm almost there. I'm sorry to hear about all that. Oh, no, I'm perfectly fine now. Happy you're still here. I'm happy I'm still here too. It was really hard calling my mom from the hospital. That's one of the low points of that situation, was calling my mom and telling her that I was in the hospital for that. who tried to take their life, find their calling, and realize is a need for you, as you can see with Alex. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not someone that's like judgmental towards people who practice or who commit suicide or feel suicidal. Everyone's experience is different. I can only say my piece based on my experience. I can't say, oh well, I went through that, so you're strong enough, or you're too weak, or you would. I'm not someone who's going to do that. Everyone's life experience is different. That situation was something else. I'm glad I made it through it. I'm glad I found my ancestors. I'm glad I found my guides. Glad, everyone who's in my life now, that was in my life then, is still here. So sorry to hear that. Yeah, see, all the children are okay. How those places have come out as such a force. Don't make me cry. But thank you for that, Vero, 8191. If you look forward to our sesh before my birthday. Don't tell me you booked a reading with me. Please, please, please don't tell me, because it makes me anxious. I don't like knowing who I'm doing readings for. But Saturn in the 5th house, no, not necessarily. It just makes you more structured in regards to your hobbies. You maybe take your hobbies a lot more seriously, as opposed to other people may have hobbies for fun. You may be like really serious about collecting stamps or collecting baseball cards, or I don't know, take dating super seriously, or take gambling seriously. Tomorrow's your birthday. Happy birthday, Bruja Vayuda. Double Gemini, Aqua Moon. Lots of air energy. How long have I been on my journey? Since 2014. Since I did that jar spell on Leandre. I did that jar spell on Leandre, and it all started from there. I don't know where he's at, but it doesn't matter. I hope he's well, though. I hope he's healthy. But yeah, ever since my journey started, I've been a witch since doing that, putting Leandre's putting Leandre's red H&M tank top in a jar, and then next thing you know, going to Mardi Gras with them, and then moving in together. Let's see. Good night. Saturn is in the 11th house. You may feel like your friendship groups are limited or are filled with much older people. Like you may identify or have friends that are older. I'll probably hold out. Less than 2 minutes left. Thank you, Alex. We love you. Love you more, Bruja Viuda. So did the jar spell work? Absolutely. We moved in together, but you have to be specific when you do love spells. In specific, like another thing, Marie Laveau. So I did the spell that got us to live together with Marie Laveau. Like we went to her tomb not three times. I gave her like $20 in quarters at her cemetery, at her plot. Wrote in permanent marker the 3 X's, not 3 times. Turn around 3 times. And then next thing you know, within like 5 months, we were living together. But you have to be specific, especially with spirits that are Virgos, because you'll get what you're asking for. Marie Laveau is a Virgo. You get what you're asking for, but it's like if you're not specific, you'll get everything that you ask for. Like, like my ass. Like I got a whole lot with that situation. Saturn in the 2nd house. Discipline and structure with your spending. Financial blessings after the age of 30. I just got a new jar. Congratulations. Sweetening jar or silent jar? Please, Saturn Sagittarius in the 3rd house. Restrictions on communication. Siblings. Short-term trips. You may go on short-term trips with people from different countries, etc. Thank you. All right. Well, it's closing.